Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of What's Happening Now. As always, remember to like, share, and comment on this broadcast live, as there could be some information here not only useful to yourself, but perhaps to a neighbor or a friend or a relative that may can use this information. Tonight's broadcast is being brought to us by TNR Web Solutions. TNR Web Solutions offers a host of web solutions, full web solutions that cover every aspect of establishing your online presence. If you need contact with TNR Webs, you need to get a website, their contact information is right there, info@tnrwebs.com, or you can give them a call at 256-257-5899. So, also coming up, don't forget, we have our 7 and 7 community baby shower. We are still accepting donations for this baby shower event. It is going to actually be spectacular, ladies and gentlemen. So if you hadn't had a chance to donate, please go ahead and donate. We'll take monetary donations, or we'll take gently used items such as clothing, shoes, strollers, and walkers, things of those sorts. It is going to be great. We're going to have OBGYN in here. We're going to have other people here. And we're also going to have some medical people here to help the blood pressure. And there's going to be food as well. So this is going to be your normal, it's going to be a little over top type baby shower. All right. So tonight we got TP Visions with us, working with us here in the studio. So I have Miss Tara Pickens here, owner of TP Visions LLC. Tara, welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
So tell the viewers a little bit about TP Visions. What is this?
TP Visions is a consulting company. We love to help military members transition from the military to the civilian sector. We're trying to alleviate a lot of fear and concern that you may have about the unknown while transitioning out of service. We also like to help entrepreneurs and individuals with personal growth and success.
Outstanding. So, you know, you I know you're going to touch the toes and hit home for a lot of people out there, a lot of viewers. When we're talking about transition, we're talking about our service members, talk about the military and getting out. How important is it for the military, the soldiers, to be able to have that transition properly, to go from one way of thinking to a new way of thinking?
It's critical.
Mm-hmm.
It's very critical, because in the military, you're kind of programmed.
Okay.
And you have to change your way of thinking. You have to step out your comfort zone. You have to get out there. You have to network. You have to do your research. And you have to come up with a tailor-made plan just for you.
So what was it like for you? I know we talked a little bit behind camera, off stage. How was it for you in transition and dealing with your military career?
For me, it was difficult. And that's why I do what I do now, to help military members transition. For me, I didn't have a plan.
Okay.
For me, I was taking it day by day. I was working for the Missile Defense Agency, and I was the only enlisted soldier in the agency. I only had our military personnel flight that was assisting me with my transition, but there really wasn't any guidance. And I think I was more focused on making sure I did my job than taking care of me. So I feel like I was pushed out instead of taking charge of my transition and actually having a plan and walking out with confidence.
Wow. So, you know, I know there's a lot of viewers out there, and a lot of people was in the military, and a lot of people were currently getting ready to transition or retire out, and you could probably use some services like this. And I know for years that, you know, the military used to offer a program. I don't know if they still got it. I think they have a program now, whereas when the soldiers get ready to transition, they go to, what is it called?
It's TAP.
TAP. So one could argue, well, they'll say, well, why would I need TP Visions LLC and Miss Tara Pickens when I can go to TAP? What do you say to that?
TAP is your transition assistance program. It's mandatory for all branches of service prior to departing from the military service. But the one thing about TAP, I feel like you're just a number. It's just technical. They go through the basic. They go through the basic with you, but they do not tell you how to do a resume. when
Right.
you complete. They do not tell you how to budget your money when you get ready to prepare for transitioning out the military. They do not sit down and say, okay, well, what do you want to do when you get out the military? Who do you want to be? They're going through the basic stuff like, this is how we're going to calculate your retirement pay when you get out. These are the type of insurance that you may be privy to upon your departure from the military. These are just a couple of things you need to be talking about. But at TP Visions, we customize a plan just for you. You're not a number.
Right.
A plan just for you. What do you want your finances to look like? How are you going to maintain your health? Because I'm telling you, I didn't get a clothing allowance when I got out.
Right.
The military. And I thought, okay, no more PT tests. I can just go out there. I can eat. And then, hey, my clothes start shrinking. I'm like, hey, I don't have that clothing allowance anymore. So, I got to get back into the gym.
Right.
So it's a lot of things that you need to think about, all areas of your life. What is it going to look like for your family?
Right.
Where are you going to live? Where are you going to be? What do you plan to do when you get out?
So, and doing this, how long has TP Visions LLC been in the play now?
Since 2022.
So since 2022, so
Yes,
you're relatively kind of new at it, but
yes, sir.
but you are knee deep in it though, because you've already been to several bases already and integrated with some of those soldiers. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Oh, it was very interesting. I've been to Redstone Arsenal here in Huntsville. I've been also to Fort Benning, Georgia. Well, it's Fort Moore now. Let me be correct, but I was born there, born and raised there. Just talking to the soldiers and hearing some of their concerns, and I can tell still they do not have a plan. They're not familiar with all the different resources that are available to them when they get out. And I think the biggest thing is just being aware of your VA benefits. That's tax-free money. Who do not want tax-free money? And I think just sharing that information is important. But I ran into a Sergeant Major who did 20 years in the military, and she's at 30% still fighting for her VA benefits. I got her information. We had a few talks. I put her in contact with somebody, and she came back and told me she's right now at 80%.
Wow. Hey, I tell you what, I really commend you and everyone out there and all those out there who are dealing with the service members and trying to help the service members to get ahead and get them what they need. Because sometimes when you're in the military, you are closed in. You're kind of like shut off from the rest of the world, and you don't know what's actually out there and what's going on. So during your transition program, do you find that one rank or officers versus enlisted struggle more? Does the enlisted struggle more with the transition than the officers, or is it equally across the board?
I think it's equal across the board.
Yeah.
I think enlisted struggle more than the officers do. And the reason why I say that, and it's a shame, officers share more information than enlisted do. In the agency that I was working for, we only had a handful of enlisted. So I mostly worked with officers anywhere from lieutenants up to general officers. And they even have certain programs like general officers go to GOMO, which is a out processing center just for general officers. And colonels have theirs. So I think that it's definitely not even.
Okay, all right. We got a question up here. It says, we got a question. Let's see what it says here. It says, when it comes to retirement, I found that basically I had to network with others who were also transitioning during the same time. Get together, share information, because these units had information. It was literally like we were the very first soldiers who ever retired from the unit. Very minimum assistance. Is that kind of what you had went through? Is that what's going on now with our soldiers?
Yes, sir. And that's why I created this military transition planner, because I saw the issues that the soldiers were having with out processing. So I put everything in this military transition planner. At the beginning of this military transition planner is basic. It helps you to goal set. Then it has a generic checklist that you would need to out process. It can go for any branch of service. And then it has an area where you can put, if your branch of service has a specific requirement that you need to do, you can add that to it. It helps you plan your retirement ceremony. It tells you what you can expect and what you should receive at your retirement ceremony. Right. What awards, what the flag, everything you need, everything you should receive. It has a place for you to plan your job interviews, annotate your doctor's appointments. Even it starts you off with the basic information you would need in order to begin your BA paperwork.
Right. And you brought actually one of your transition planners here with us. We want to hold that up and show everyone like this. And that's something that you actually formulated and created yourself.
Yes.
How does one know how to do that? And that based off of your experience in the military, what you was doing, you were part of planning, and this enabled you to be able to do this?
Yes, for all services. 33 years, 20 years Army, and then I went back, like I say, as a DOD for 13 years. I was a 42 Alpha human resource specialist, so I worked in the S1. Right. This is what I've done my whole career, and I love helping military members. And the reason why I love helping them is something about when a soldier comes to you with a problem. Right. And as a human resource specialist, you're able to solve that problem. Just the joy on that soldier's face is breath. It just makes my heart feel good.
I tell you what, folks, viewers, those who are viewing, those who are watching this, if you could be here in the studio with us right now, you can feel her compassion for soldiers and helping soldiers. It is really deep. It is really meaningful. So if you know someone out there who's about to transition or is going to be transitioning, please share this broadcast with them so they can go ahead and get in contact with her. If I can get the producer to go ahead and put her banner up. We got a banner here for her where it could scroll across, let her information on there so people will know who she is and what she's doing for our soldiers. So what is your reach? What is your current reach right now towards bases? Where are you currently? How far out will you go?
Wherever they need me.
Wherever you need you. Well, I mean, we got bases. We got bases in Italy. We got bases in Germany. We got bases in Korea. I mean, that's a big reach.
Look, with God, all things are possible. Hey, if you need me, if you contact me, let's see exactly what your need is and how we can make it happen. Because who says sometimes I may not have to go there? It's a lot of things now. We got so much technology. It can be done via Zoom. I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. We military, we figure it out. We military, we get in there, we figure it out. We make things happen.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We'll definitely make it happen.
So have you come across anybody that's transitioning out? A lot of times when our family members go into the service, we always say, I always tell them, I says, hey, take a MOS, take a job that's going to be transferable from out of the military into civilian life. Do you run across anybody who had a job in the military that, man, there's nothing out here that you really can do? That's only a military job. How do you deal with those type of transitions?
Sometimes they have to change their mindset, and they have to go and be willing to try something new. Right. And it's nothing wrong with that. It just depends on what you want. But, I find it funny that a lot of times the military members that I dealt with the last couple of years, they wanted to do something totally different. Some wanted to come back and do their job. Some said, hey, I'm going to be a teacher. Some said, hey, I'm going to start me a nonprofit. I'm going to start a business. Oh, I'm going to just sit beside the bank and fish all day. Right. So it just depends on what you want. If you cannot find a job in that, the world does not end then. You regroup. You think about what you can do. What skills do you have in your hand right now that you can do? And let's work and target in on that and perfect that and go from there.
Okay. We got another question up here. It says another thing I found was, well, as some of the other NCOs I networked with was the was that the chain of command were reluctant to let us go. Exceptions, what does that say? Exception was that they remained on active part of the unit till the day you signed out for terminal leave.
Yeah. Permissive TDY is a privilege.
Yeah.
Commanders do not have to allow a soldier to take that permissive TDY. And if they don't, shame on them.
Right.
Considering how much a soldier has sacrificed throughout their years, how much they've given up. I've never been in a chain of command where they would not allow a soldier to take permissive TDY. But if that's the case, you may have to find time to still put yourself first when you can. You're going to have to be creative in how you schedule yourself on the calendar. You are allowed to go to the doctor if you need to go to the doctor for your VA appointments. They can't stop you from going to the doctor. And not only that, it's just, hey, when you get home, do your research,
Right.
How much money do I need saved between now and then? That comes from you just planning, doing some budgeting and financial planning. What are some of my VA benefits? Start getting your medical records, pulling it, looking through them yourself. You may have to just do it on your time, but hey, that's my advice to you. Hey, you may have to just make some sacrifices and do it on your own, but I'm sure you will find the time to make sure you take care of yourself. Or if you come to TP Visions, hey, we can be doing some of that work for you while you're focusing on the mission.
That's right. We got another statement up here. Another question says, do you assist transition members with resumes, translating their skills to civilian terms? Ouch.
I do not assist with resumes, but I do have resources. So I can refer you to different resources and people that can help you to actually do a resume.
How, so along with her question there, how hard is that to translate your skills that you learned in the military into a civilian resume? If it's something like, for the normal stuff, for people like, and who for me, being an aviator, it was easy. Because what I did in the military as aviation, I can do as a civilian contractor as aviation. It's just the same thing. But when you get to somebody who has a little bit different skill set, what does that translate into the civilian world? What does that mean that you can do in a civilian? How hard is that?
Sometimes it can be kind of difficult. Like for me, like you, it was easy for me because I was 42 Alpha, human resource specialist, administrative specialist. But for somebody who was out there who probably was like a ranger or for me, when I first came in, I never forget, I can't remember the MOS, but they wanted me to be some type of petroleum specialist. And I know my granddaddy was like, if I wanted her to pump gas, she could have just pumped gas right down here at the Exxon gas station. For them, it may be kind of difficult, but I think that's where the resume experts come in. And then, no, not only TP Visions, I'm not going to be selfish. There are programs out there for soldiers who will help you to do their resume for free.
Right.
But that comes with you doing your research. Do not believe everything somebody tell you when it comes to transition, because I know my soldiers, I know the ones that I work with, they used to have this sheet of paper and they would come up with this spreadsheet and they're passing it around to everybody. But that's on that sheet of paper may not fit you and the needs of you and your family.
Right. So one of the things that you believe and that you suggest is you're saying that they don't need to think about transitioning out 6 months out, a year out. They should be thinking anywhere between 5 to 10 years out about transition and what they're going to do.
Exactly.
So why is that? Why such a long period? I mean, I can't remember what I ate for dinner yesterday, and you want me to think 10 years out to transition. Why so long?
Preparation is the key to success when it comes to transition. Preparation is everything. And the earlier you get started, the better it is. And I truly believe that will alleviate a lot of your fear and anxiety because you'll be confident. I'm not saying that your plan is going to be bulletproof because you got to remain flexible, but your faith will be bulletproof. You will believe that, hey, this thing is going to work because I've been preparing for a long time, especially when it comes again. I'm going to go back to your finances. That's the biggest fear, not having a job, not having money when you get out. But what if you start investing early? What if you start, saving early, making sacrifices early prior to
right.
you getting out, and you have some money saved up. What if you start investing in that TSP early? So when you get out, you have something back to fall on. So if I don't want to go to work, if I don't get a call back for a job in 6 months, I'm okay because I know I got at least 6 months of savings in my emergency fund. So if something happens, I'm okay.
So you hit something on the head there, and it made me think about it. And if there's anybody out there who's viewing this that may know, please chime in the chat and let me know. So we have TP Visions LLC. I know in Savannah there's a place called My Veterans Place, right? I know also here in Huntsville we have a young lady who does Let's Talk Veterans. But what I have not heard and what I have not seen is somebody who has an organization set up to talk to all of those delayed entry program applicants who's gone into the military to give them that information about TSP. This is what you need to do right now. On your first LES, on your first promotion, don't take all of that. Take the difference of that promotion, put it into this account. Is there anything like that you know of, or viewers who's watching this? Is there anything like that you guys may know of that is actually talking to these soldiers, these sailors, these Marines before they actually get into boot camp to tell them what they need to do, as opposed to us waiting to the back end and we're trying to fix everything that they did for the last 5, 10, 15, or 20 years?
Go ahead and pitch me a job. Because I would love to do that work with soldiers. Because when I was out at Fort Benning, it's a lot of basic training students out there. It's a lot of AIT students that was out there, and they was coming through the exchange while I was out there, and I was pulling them aside. And that's what we was talking about. I wish somebody would have told me when I first came in the military. Make sure you write down your goals. Make sure you're clear on what you want to do. Give your self deadlines. If you say you want to be promoted to sergeant by this time, make sure you willing to put in the work to do that. Make sure you invested in your TSP. Don't take everything everybody out there gives you. Because you're a soldier, they're going to give you the car, they're going to give you a loan. But if you sit down and you write down your goals, you're going to know exactly what you want. So when they try to give you this and hey, it's not in my plan, you can refuse it. So I did have those conversations with soldiers when I was at Fort Benning, and I loved it. And they stood around and they actually listened. So that tells me that they're hungry for the information. They want to know how you made it 20 years, how you retired, what were some of the key things. So I think that's needed. TP Visions can take on the job too. I'm willing.
I tell you what, that sounds like something that we might want to put on that canvas, that business model canvas, and think about that, because we're being reactive to a lot of things. We're always trying to be reactive and trying to fix something. Well, how about let's be proactive now. Let's try to fix it before it happens, so they have that information, so they can say, hey, you know what, I remember when I was getting ready to go in, I was 4 weeks out from being shipped out, and I had to go to this seminar, and I spoke with this young lady or this young man, and they told me that, hey, this is what you need to start doing. This is how you're going to fast track yourself. This is how you're going to get promoted. This is how you're going to get into these schools. This is how you're going to do that. Because what happens is a lot of people in the military, and if those who are watching and you've been in the military, you always know it's always after you've been in for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, you figure out, oh, I didn't know I had to do that. Because it was some lucky sergeant or some lucky NCO who actually told you what you needed to do. But if you'd have had that information before day one of boot camp, and you're running around crazy, getting up at 4 a.m. and going to sleep at 12 a.m. and back up at 4 a.m., you would have had that information locked and you would have known better. So I think that is an excellent position to be placing these soldiers in, so that they can be more beneficial in the long run for themselves as they're coming out, get out. So now it ain't gonna be, actually, I don't want to put you out of a job, but maybe it's a job that you should take like this. Because not only with TP Visions and transition from out of the military, you actually do what a lot of people do now, vision boards, right?
I love doing vision
boards. So talk to us a little bit about that. How does that work? How does doing that vision board coincide with transitioning? Talk to me about that.
With a vision board, you can actually take images, quotes and phrases, stickers, whatever it is. You can even do it digital now.
Mm-hmm.
And you can place it on a canvas. You can create a digital product. You can put it on your phone or your computer. You can hang it up at work if they allow it. And it keeps you focused on what you need to do to outprocess the military.
Okay.
So even you may write your notes and stuff on your calendar, you may have your notes written in a book, but every day you walk in your office or you walk in your home, you're going to look at that vision board and you're going to say, hey, I need to submit for my permissive TDY. Hey, right. I see me sitting on the beach for retirement. I need to keep doing what I need to do in order to get to that. Hey, I need to save $1,200 a month. You got money up there, however much, $1,200 a week, probably based on what you get paid. But you have a plan that's in front of you. You can physically see it every day and it motivates you. And I tell people, sometimes your dreams and different things, it doesn't motivate you. I was never motivated in the military. Some days I was, but what helps you is discipline. Mm-hmm. It keeps you disciplined. It shows you what you value and helps you to assess where you're at and where you're going.
Right.
Because before you know where you're going, you got to know where you're at. You got to know where you're at with your finances.
True. That is true. That is true.
You can't get this big luxury house when you get out and your credit score isn't what it's supposed to be. You got to do a reality check and say, hey, I get out 5 years from now, I need to have my credit score raised by a certain period of time. And this is what it needs to be at when I get out to get a home.
That is so right. So we got another question here. It says, when you get deployed and you have medical bills and such that come after him or her after he or she leaves, does the military pay for it? And if the bill still isn't dissolved before being deployed, how do they resolve that? So you don't have to worry about after them coming after you.
I would need more details because being in the military, you shouldn't have a medical bill.
So I think what they're saying is when you get deployed and you have medical bills, I think they're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong there, Ms. Bradley, are we saying that this particular soldier had medical bills as he was transitioning into the military, and we're asking to see if the military would pay for those medical bills? Or are you saying that he's already in the military and he had some medical bills and he got shipped out? Because if that's the case, then all that's going to be covered through his TRICARE. The military is going to cover that. Yes. Okay. Yes. That's what she was saying. Yeah. Okay.
TRICARE should cover that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good question. Good question. Thanks for that. The vision board. So before we go back to the vision board, you mentioned something earlier. You said when you're transitioning out, you're going to help them transition and possibly move into the realm of entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. How does that work? Let me see that. I want to see that vision.
I started my business with the vision board.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting clear on clarity. If you're not where you want to be in any area of your life, it's basically because you lack vision.
Okay.
So if you want to be an entrepreneur, what does that look like? Let's write that down. Let's put it on a vision board to keep you disciplined and motivated. Hey, I'm transitioning out, but I'm going to have this business when I get out.
Right.
What's your mission? What's your vision statement? What's your logo? What's the name of it? What's your target audience? Just to get you thinking about all these things so you'll know when you get out or before you get out, hey, what do I need to do? What steps I need to take before I get out in order to start this business?
Right.
And they have boots to business also too for the military. You can go to that class as well. So you can start preparing ahead of time. You got your vision board and you go to boots to business and it just all comes together and bam.
Outstanding. I wish they had some of that stuff back when I was in there. Some boost the business,
an explosion.
Maybe seen our solutions and would have been here a long time ago. But no, I think that's awesome. And the soldiers need to know this information is out there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still dealing with soldiers now in the work that I do. And when I talk to some of them, it's just kind of like, no one's never told you this. Like, you know, and I hate to see that. And I hate to see that they're just walking around blindly and not getting the information that they need. Do you work? I know we did a lot. You talked about Fort Benning and you talked about going out to not. I think it's not Fort Benning no more. It's what is it?
Fort Moore.
Fort Moore.
Yes.
Does this also include those who are in the National Guard? Those transitions. Do you work with those?
Not at this time.
Okay.
But I'm willing to help them get the right resources and help them to do the research in order to help them to out process. No man left behind.
Right.
We don't want to leave no man left behind. And like I say, hey, I'm a human resource specialist. That's what I do. I solve problems. We can figure it out. If it's a will, it's a way. That's what I do. I can help you figure it out. That's what I do, solve problems.
I'll say, hey, folks, y'all heard that. She is a problem solver. So if you got someone out there in the military that's got some problems that need to be solved, they need to go ahead and reach on out to her. Call TP Visions, LLC, and they'll make sure they get it taken care of. You know, so talk to us. What's on the horizon for TP Visions? What's next?
Oh, military transition apparel.
Okay.
I have shirts that for veterans who have served, just to show their camaraderie, their love for the service. I'm gonna be dropping a new shirt next month, Saved and Served by His Grace.
Okay.
Because I know that although I served and we had our M16 and we had our battle buddies, I know that it was truly God who kept me. It was His grace that kept me during my deployments, as well as here in the United States while I was serving. We're going to be traveling to different PXs over the summer. Like I told you, I mentioned before when we was talking, I really want to get to Warner Robins and to Maxwell Air Force Base.
Okay.
If you go to our website, I have the dates that I'll be there visiting. We're also going to be at the well, I have a nonprofit. I'm thinking outside the box. I was going to give you my nonprofit information as well, but also I'm going to be out just trying to sell these planners.
Okay.
You know, out to different installations, just talking with the soldiers. And I plan to do a little more networking here in the community after talking to you today. Previously, before this broadcast, I know I need to get out more and just network. So you guys may see me pulling up at some of these networking events, talking about TP Visions LLC. But in the meantime, just reach out to me.
Right.
I love taking care of soldiers. I've done it for the past 33 years. And as long as I got breath in my body and God allows it, that's what I plan to do to the day I die.
Outstanding, outstanding. Hey, viewers, those who's watching, please share this with somebody out there that you know is in the military, that you know is gone into the military, and that you know who may be transitioning out of the military because TP Visions is here for you. They want to support you. And if there's a group of y'all out west somewhere at one of those bases that need her services, reach out to her. She is more than willing to help you guys get going. It ain't just here on the East Coast. She's doing West Coast, overseas, Oconus, wherever you're at. She's there to help you to make sure that y'all get the needs that y'all need to transition properly. Because I could tell you, I didn't get that, and I know a lot of people I know that didn't get that, and it is a need. It is a need. A lot of people aren't able to just jump out and land on their feet. You know, there's a lot of stumbling, there's a lot of crawling, there's a lot of setbacks. But to have a right plan in place, I think that's going to be well worth it to help these soldiers and sailors and everyone out there in the military to get where they need to be in life.
Yeah, because you're going to break ranks. And when you break ranks this time, you're going to be known for more than just your last name and the last four of your social security number.
Right, right. Hey, I tell you what, Ms. Tara, thank you for coming in this evening and spending time with us and talking about TP Visions LLC and letting our viewers know what is out there and what they have to offer and what y'all do have to offer. For those out there who are watching, don't forget, We got our Big Somebody Loves You event that's going to be coming up here at the Bob Harrison Center. We're looking to service about 150 senior citizens for our Somebody Loves You event. That's one of our ongoing annual events that we do with CNI Solutions. And of course, we're going to be having our graduation for one of our entrepreneur classes going to be in the next 4 weeks, probably around the 9th of April. I'm looking forward to that. I know the facilitators are looking forward to that, and I know those students are looking forward to that because they're going to be coming out here with some outstanding businesses. All right. And as always, remember, your yesterday is not your today, and your today is not your tomorrow. Good night.